Now in this video we are going to deal with partial fractions, specifically type 2. Type 2 that says denominator with quadratic factor. I want you to stay with me such that you understand it, and I'll give you a trial question at the end of this video. So how do I identify that this is a quadratic factor? A quadratic factor is that factor that cannot be factorized or does not have real roots. For example, if you look at x squared plus 5 is a quadratic expression, but it does not have real roots if we equate it to 0, making it an equation. So if you can't factorize this quadratic equation, quadratic expression in the denominator, or getting its real roots, it means that is a quadratic factor. For example, you can't get real roots for x squared plus 5. You can't. However, this one, x minus 1, is a linear. So it's a linear factor. So it goes into the other category. So mathematics tells us that if you find such a case, that one is type 2, denominator with a quadratic factor, and this is how you solve it. First, it tells us that it's identically equal to, now this one is linear, so it follows the linear, that is a out of x minus 1. However, for quadratic tells us that if you have a quadratic factor, its numerator is linear. Therefore, our numerator is going to be bx plus c over x squared plus 5. Its numerator is linear when the denominator is quadratic. So that's whenever if you are to get a proper fraction, the numerator must be linear for a denominator to be quadratic. So after reaching here, we do the same thing. We get the LCM, so we shall have 3x squared minus 2x plus 5 out of x minus 1 into x squared plus 5 is identically equal to, so the LCM will be x minus 1 into x squared plus 5, this exact. So we shall have a into x squared plus 5, then plus bx plus c into x minus 1. Now after having that, these denominators can go, so we remain with 3x squared minus 2x plus 5 is identically equal to a into x squared plus 5, then plus bx plus c into x minus 1. Now when we reach here, this is where we start to let the values of x that can eliminate some unknowns, that such that we get the others. For example, if I want to get a, I'll have to eliminate this whole thing. How do I eliminate it? By making x1. When I make x1, this whole bracket will go to 0 and the whole thing will go to 0. So I'll say if x is equal to 1, I'll have 3 into 1 squared minus 2 into 1 plus 5 is equal to a into 1 squared, you get 1 plus 5, and then this whole thing goes to 0. So when you simplify this gives us so let us simplify. This gives us 6 is equal to 6a. This tells us that when we divide through by 6, we end up having a as 1. Now we have a. The next thing is to go to get b and c. So let us go and get b and c. So rewriting it such that we have a follow-up. So we have 3x squared minus 2x plus 5 is identically equal to a into x squared plus 5, then plus bx plus c into x minus 1. So we have our a as 1. We got a as 1. Now you come and say if x, we look for another value of x. So if you look at, I want to get c, but I can make a b 0. So I come and say if x is equal to 0, I'll have 3 into 0 squared minus 2 into 0 plus 5 is equal to a. We obtained it as 1 into 0 squared, we get 0 plus 5, and then plus b will go to 0. B will go to 0 because b times 0 we have 0. We remain with the c into 0 minus 1. So if you look at this, this gives us 5 is equal to, going this side, we shall have 5 and then plus c into negative 1. So when we take this one, this other side, we shall have 0 is equal to negative c. This tells us that c will equal to 0. So c is done. Now who is remaining? B. So you come and say if, now the values that can take a c and a to 0 are not there, what do we do then? We let x to be a smaller value. It can be a smaller value, relatively small. And also, for example, if you pick 0 and 1, you can pick negative 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So you pick a relatively smaller value. So if we take, for example, negative 1, so we shall have 3 into negative 1 squared minus 3 into minus 2 into negative 1 plus 5 is equal to a is 1 into negative 1 squared here gives us 1 plus 5, then plus negative b plus c, which is 0, into negative 1 minus 1. So simplifying this gives us 10 is equal to, so we have 5 plus 1, and then this one gives us plus a negative b into negative 2. So simplifying this, we shall have 10 is equal to 6 plus 2b. Now when you take this one the other side, we end up having 4 is equal to 2b. Divide through by 2, divide by 2, we have our b as 2. So we have b as 2. So therefore, we have a as 1, then we have b as 2, and then we have c as 0. So we go ahead and rewrite it. When we write it, we write our factor, our partial fraction very well. So our 3x squared minus 2x plus 5 over x minus 1 into x squared plus 5 partialized very well. Our a, remember, is 1, so we shall have 1 out of x minus 1 plus, now our b is 2, so we shall have 2x out of x squared plus 5, because c is 0. Now this is the partial fraction of this whole fraction. Now you try your question. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and if you have understood, please consider liking the video. Please like the video if you have understood. Your trial question goes, express in partial fraction 11x out of 2x minus 3 into 2x squared plus 1. Comment your answer in the comment section. Comment anything. If you have any issue, comment it in the comment section. I'll be able to answer it. We meet in the next. Thank you.